It's a good AGam in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. First, Dr. Chris Blevins and Dr. Jason Grady discuss pregnancies and mares. Next, learn about the importance of meat safety from two KSRE specialists. We'll finish with information from Beef Today's recent Cowboy College in Wichita. Greg Henderson shares an overview of the events. Dr. Tom Noffsinger talks about the positive effect of trained caregivers. And Dr. Mike Apley discusses drug use, riding treatment protocols, and the Veterinary Feed Directive. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, joined today by Dr. Jason Grady. He is an assistant clinical professor here in equine reproduction and field service at Kansas State. So welcome, Dr. Grady.
Thank you, Dr. Blevins.
One thing that I think a lot of owners, they need to know about, and one is reproduction of their mare, and more specifically, when they're pregnant, and when they need to be looking at their mare or checking the mare, or how early could they check the mare to see if she's pregnant, and what would be the earliest, I guess, that they could check?
Sure. I think pregnancy in the mare is an exciting time. We've spent the year maybe planning to see who we're going to breed to, go through the process of breeding the mare, and then we have 11 months of anticipation potentially to hopefully have a healthy live foal.
Yeah.
And so as far as checking the mare, the early stages of pregnancy seem to be the most critical time frame what we're looking at. Maybe in the first 30 days we've seen that up to 10 to 15% of pregnancies are lost during that time frame, and majority of pregnancies that are lost are usually lost in the first trimester or the first 90 days. And so it's recommended that we check the mare sometime around 12 to 16 days after the mare is ovulated or after her last exposure to the stallion.
Okay.
And this allows us to, one, check to make sure that the mare is pregnant. And if she's not, then we can plan for her next heat cycle. And also, if she is pregnant, we can try to rule out the presence of twins. And then, assuming we find a single pregnancy, just only one pregnant vesicle at that time, then I recommend checking again about day 28 to day 30 of pregnancy. That allows us to make sure that the pregnancy is progressing normally, make sure the fetus is developing normally, make sure we can develop or identify a fetal heartbeat at that time frame. And then if we can check them again towards the end of that first trimester, 60 to 90 days, either just with rectal palpation or ultrasound, just confirm that we still have a pregnancy going into those second and third trimester.
And I think that when you're saying those, especially the early pregnancies, you're through ultrasound, I guess, is a lot of those earlier ones to really see that. And the ultrasound helps diagnose a lot of different things if there's issues, I imagine, too, with pregnancy. Yeah. And with twins, or what would be something we'd be concerned with of twins in the horse? Because a lot of horse owners, they hear about twins and how evil potentially it could be, and why is that?
Well, I'm sure you've seen or you've heard the success stories where people had a set of twins that have survived normally, have mares carried to full term and had a healthy set of foals. Sometimes the clients didn't even know that the mare was pregnant with twins. But that's the exception to the rule and not the norm. Oftentimes, majority of mares will, if they are pregnant with twins, will lose one or both the pregnancies in the first 60 days of pregnancy.
Okay.
If they make it past that time frame, maybe they'll go ahead and abort those foals at around 6 to 8 months. If they do carry on into that last trimester, usually those foals are going to be born premature, maybe have some serious medical conditions. And so going back to what we talked about earlier, if we can check the mares early in those first 12 to 14 days post-breeding, post-ovulation, maybe we can try to minimize some of those risk factors and try to help correct the problem if there are twins at that time.
Right, okay. Well, I think that's all great information. I think if you ever have any questions about equine reproduction, you can sure call and talk to Dr. Grady. Or if you have any other issues or questions you have, just give us a call here at Kansas State Veterinary Health Center. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins with Horsing Around, and we'll see you around.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan here, and I'm inviting you to come to the McCain Auditorium on October 12th to be a part of the Henry C. Gardner Global Food Systems Lecture Series, and the featured speaker will be Greg Page. He's going to discuss climate change in agriculture. When you think of climate change and the impact that agriculture may have on it, everybody involved with agriculture needs to be there. I hope that you can attend. We'll see you on the Kansas State campus. Again, that's October 12th, McCain Auditorium, and I'll see you down the road.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
AGam in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
The meat industry is doing a great job of keeping things as safe as possible. They're working very hard to make sure that, the products that consumers are buying is, as safe as possible.
The beef in the United States is safe, regardless whether we're talking about conventionally raised product, whether we're talking about organic or natural. All beef is safe because it's all inspected by the USDA. All of the standards that go into effect for traditional, conventionally raised product are also applied to any other form of production system as well. Before the hide's removed, they do everything they can to remove through a hot water bath as much of the contamination on the outside of the hide as possible. Throughout the entire process, once the hide is removed, the carcasses go through another hot water bath cabinet in which they spray 180-degree water on the outside of the carcass in order to hopefully kill as many bacteria that may potentially be contaminated on there as possible. And then all the way through to the processing side, many times before that carcass is ever fabricated, or even when the subprimal meat goes into packages or ground product does, it's typically sprayed with some other form of antibacterial, whether we're talking about citric acid or lactic acid, so another hurdle, if you will, in the process to prevent any form of contamination from making it all the way to the consumer.
Potentially ground beef could have some microbial contaminants. Animals are grown in an environment where there's potential contaminants. They're grown outside, and so those contaminants can potentially get into the meat eventually. There can be things like salmonella, there could be E. coli, there could be Campylobacter, other microbial contaminants that are quite common in our food, that can happen in our food supply.
If we look at intact steak products or roast products, the inside of that muscle, where it's never been exposed to the outer air surface, is sterile. That's why we can safely cook and prepare steak and roast meats to a rare degree of doneness, because the inside of that meat was never contaminated or never even had the potential to be contaminated with any form of pathogenic bacteria. Ground beef product, on the other hand, is something that's highly a concern because the outside of that product, what was once the outside, is ground up into what is now the inside of the product. Because of that, the outside is no safer than the inside, and so we have to make sure that we prepare those products accordingly because of that.
Any ground beef, pork, lamb, those should be cooked to 160 degrees. That temperature is safe to make sure that we know that you're killing off any bacteria that could be present. Definitely always use a thermometer to make sure that the temperature is correct. Unfortunately, color is not a really good indicator, in particular for ground meats, of if it's done or not. I tell people microorganisms don't care what color the meat is, they only care what temperature it's been cooked to. So make sure that temperature is getting up to 160 degrees for ground meats. If it's ground turkey or ground chicken or any whole chicken or turkey products, you want to cook that to 165 degrees because there's certain microorganisms that tend to be more possible to be in those meats that you want to make sure you're getting to a higher temperature. If you're cooking a roast or a steak, intact products that haven't been needle tenderized, those only need to be cooked to 145 degrees.
From where contamination can occur, it can occur at any point in time from the time that animal is harvested all the way up until the time it goes onto the plate. a lot of time consumers don't take a lot of responsibility for mishandling raw meat products in their own home. But if they undercook the product, or one of the biggest things is cross-contamination, using some of the same utensils or plates that they use with the raw product on cooked product, that's the #1 location for cross-contamination that does result in foodborne illness.
You know, any sort of food product that you're eating could potentially have contaminants in it. That's why it's so important that, you know, the whole way from the farm all the way to the consumer, that we're doing things as safely as possible, that we're making sure that we're all using safe handling practices.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Hey, it's Dr. Dan here, inviting you to Animal Science and Industries Family and Friends Reunion.
Whether you're an alumnus, a family member, or a friend like myself, I would encourage you to attend the Family and Friends Reunion on October 9th as a way to network, connect, or reconnect with friends of yours in your segment of the livestock industry.
K-State has many traditions. Agriculture and football are at the top of the list. So I'll see you in Manhattan, Kansas on October 9th for the Animal Science and Industries Family and Friends Reunion.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Good morning, Heather. Well, we started Beef Today's Cowboy College. We launched it last year with the help of Dr. Dan Thompson. First Cowboy College was in Omaha. It was specifically for feed yard employees, pen riders, processing crews. We've had 2 Cowboy Colleges this year, one for cow-calf operators in the Denver area, and this one here this week in Wichita, again for feedlot operators, feedlot cowboys, pen riders, and so forth. The focus primarily is on animal health and animal welfare, animal well-being. The stars of the program have been Dr. Dan Thompson, Dr. Noffsinger, and Dr. Apley from Kansas State. It's really important to offer these types of educational opportunities for small groups of cattlemen, people, numbers about 100. It really provides opportunities for interaction between the veterinarians, who really are world-renowned veterinarians, and actual working feed yard cowboys. As we know, there are some issues that are high priority for some of the activists that would like to limit animal agriculture. So when you have veterinarians that understand the issues of antibiotics and antibiotic residues, and Dr. Apley himself has just been named to the President's Council on animal antibiotic use in animals. So it's not every day that these cowboys get a chance to interact. A small group like this gives them the one-on-one opportunity for interaction with the veterinarians, and also there's some networking that goes on here. How do things work in one feed yard, and how do they work for people in other? You know, it's just a great opportunity for networking. Program has not been set for next year, but we will have 2 Cowboy Colleges again. The information can be found at beeftoday.com/Cowboy College, or go online and look up a way to email us directly.
We started farming in 1970. It was harder work then than it is now, a lot more physical work and the wear and tear on my knees and my body. Now here I'm 70 years old. Well, I started having knee pain here 4 or 5 years ago, and so I was looking for a stem cell clinic, and lo and behold, my good friend John Farley and Ken Wood, who'd been customers and friends for a number of years, opened their clinic, and in about 2 months my heel was a lot better, and then at the end of 3 months and then going on 4, why my knee started making significant improvement, and it's sure been a blessing, because before I had the stem cells, well, I'd be driving a tractor, and if I sat in the tractor for 2 or 3 hours, when I got out, I'd have to stop and get the kinks out of my knee and shake it, and today that's not a problem.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm Tom Noffsinger. I'm a veterinarian from southwestern Nebraska. I have a home and a ranch in Winkelman, Nebraska, and I spend most of my time in feedlots and ranches across America. It's been absolutely an amazing experience to be involved in the Cowboy Colleges, both here in Wichita and earlier in the year in Denver. I am really impressed that we have people with similar attitudes coming from all over America with a common theme to learn more about the animals that we rely on for our living and for our protein source. I spent most of the time this time approaching the idea that trained caregivers can have a positive effect on the behavior of animals as they move through our production chain. It's just amazing to me when we have people dedicated to greeting and meeting new animals as they come to a backgrounding yard, a ranch, or feedlot, that once people understand where to stand, how to ask these animals to perform, how to teach these cattle that they can simply go by a handler and go straight, the people and the animals both change. I've had really good questions on how do you read cattle? Where should you stand when you're in the middle of the pen? If animals are resistant to your activities, if animals are a little bit reluctant to perform for you, what do you do different? What do you adjust? And we've had some amazing people here, especially at this session, because we've got a mixture of people that have never done this job before, mixed with people that have been doing pen writing or processing for 25 years. And that attitude to know that you've done something for a long time and there's still more to learn is what makes the beef industry so great. These people are highly skilled already at what they do, and they want the next little tool that will help them be better for the animals they're around.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hi, I'm Mike Apley. I'm a professor at Kansas State University and part of the Beef Cattle Institute. Today I'm pleased to be a part of the Beef Today Cattlemen's College in Wichita, Kansas. And this time we're focusing on subjects for people working with feedlots. My presentations this morning centered on drug use, writing treatment protocols. We're talking about the Veterinary Feed Directive today. We went through some videos of calves with respiratory disease and then looked at lung pathology. Have a lot of good questions, a lot of great interactions, a little disagreement on clinical scores, but we're working through that. I had some really good questions on how we'd manage people who are actually pulling cattle, how we manage our treatment protocols, our records, the future of the availability of drugs. And this afternoon we're going to continue on in that vein where we'll actually discuss the Veterinary Feed Directive, how it will affect the producers and their veterinarians and their relationships, and also talk about some other current issues in the beef cattle industry involved animal welfare, antibiotic resistance, antibiotic use, a lot of different things that are happening in Washington, D.C. and other areas where we are focusing on some big national issues which are going to have a lot of effect on what we're doing here out at the field level. I've had the opportunity to be part of several Beef 101 sessions where the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and I have gone in to work with staffers in the House and the Senate in our National Congress to educate them about how we use drugs in food animals, how we diagnose disease, how we keep records, and how we're working to apply judicious use principles in an overall format of antibiotic stewardship. I've also had the opportunity to provide some staff colleges to the FDA Center for Veterinary Medicine with some great interaction there, and where both of us are learning more about what the other one's doing. So all in all, it's been very positive. Had the opportunity to speak with others in different aspects of government, and I found that whenever we're able to actually show how we keep records, how we diagnose, and how we're using antibiotics, there's often a good bit of surprise about how intense we are and how advanced we are in monitoring our use and also in applying the antibiotics judiciously. One of the things I've found is I've spoken both in Washington, D.C. and at multiple meetings to both veterinarians and producers around this country is that the dialogue is what's important. And I've become frustrated sometimes at higher levels when there's a lot of posturing and the press is there, but I've found universally that when I'm able to talk with actual practitioners on the human side and veterinarians and producers on the beef cattle side, that we are in it for producing a healthy, wholesome product with great concern that we address the needs of our consumer. And I find that our colleagues in human health that are actually on the front lines dealing with cases are also very focused on the health of their patients and wanting them to have a healthy, nutritious diet. So as I talk to these groups and we get away from some of the hype and those issues, I find that really we're all about the same thing.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. To see this show and past episodes of AGam in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.